And then all the different ways I got fucked over that nobody cares. And when you're being treated so horrifically like I am, everything wants to act like it's powerless to do anything. But the moment they don't like you doing nothing wrong, man, they got all the energy and effort and resources and time and, motherfuckers behind them to inflict their will on you. But if you were suffering needlessly, they'd act like they couldn't do anything. And I'm going through this while these bitch motherfuckers I've dated or whoever, like, they get places to live for free. They don't work for nothing. Even if they had a job, okay, well, all their money is disposable income. So even if they technically, like, these dudes, they said that's why, like, they'll just half-ass a minimum wage job because they really don't need the money. All the shit that you would really need money for is already paid for them. They live at home, live with friends, whatever, right? If you're a pretty boy living with mommy and daddy isn't a problem, right? That doesn't count against you. They get all this shit for free on top of getting paid more on average for the same work, on paper, which actually at the job, they don't even do a quarter of that. So really it's as if, it's as if they, got $100 an hour to work for 1 hour or something, right? At the normal productivity, right? Shit like that. And after all that, on top of all of that, they act like this world owes them something. They act like you owe them something, right? They act like you're trying to fuck them over. So I remember my ex Keith, right? He came over to my hotel room that I was paying for, stayed a couple nights. He showed up drunk. And he had like alcohol with him. And I remember at a point he saw the Diet Coke I had on like the counter of the kitchenette area, because it's like right next to the bed, right? He's like, "Oh, could I mix this?" Because got that can't be a junkie. It's got to taste nice too, right? He wants to fucking start mixing drinks with my soda that I paid for, right? So he's staying in my hotel room. He's eating my food or drinking, in this case, drinking my soda, right? And, after that whole chicanery, the second time we spend together, which of course, he'll start pulling this after I waste my gas money and all that shit to go to his place. So I remember when I showed up, I asked him if we could get something to eat. What his very first words he said was, it's like, "If you pay for it." "Oh, I gotta pay for my food." "Okay. But you drank my soda for free. You didn't pay me your half of the prorate of those 2 days you stayed in my hotel room. What is it? Oh, your gas money? Well, then you gotta pay me half my gas." Right? Now, of course, if you brought that up, they'd look at you like you were a piece of shit. So you're ripping me off on top of all, this fucking with me that you're doing. You're the victim, though. This faggot, like the rest of these humans, wants to act like they're a victim of me. Oh, and if I had said that at the time when I just said, I'd absolutely be murdered right now. So that's another thing this faggot wanted to do. Like, they love to give you these stories about how they were supposedly victimized, but you can tell by the story that even though they're trying really hard to make it look like they were the victim, they're absolutely the bad guy in the story. But like one of them, he told me about one of his ex's results with, his mom and dad showing up with guns to like get back his stuff. So basically he fucked with this dude. This dude told him to get out. "No, you're not getting your stuff back. Shouldn't have fucked with me if you wanted it back." Well, no, morality's not good enough. Here comes these psychopaths to help their demonic fucking terrorist son usurp morality. And it's like, I've never seen humans show up with guns to protect me. Yeah, so humans only see their societal fiction, their money fiction, guns, and whatever the fuck else it is as something to persecute the innocent with and protect the guilty from consequences of their actions. That's it. That guy I was watching earlier, that I just been thinking about his videos a lot. This is one of the few that, I think might have actually been a person, but he kept saying that in his videos. Wage slaving. Well, I'm tired of wage slaving. I wish I could live in a world where, you don't have to work for stuff and all that. And that's what I keep thinking in my head. It's like, you don't have to. That these humans all get together and say that you have to, but it's a game of pretend. And it's no different than Nazis, their game of pretend, or any other state's game of pretend. It's all fakery. There's no actual valid basis to it. Yeah, it's all made up, but with very real consequences for you. And that just sort of the point of me thinking that it's like, there's no requirement to work, because you'll notice every single one of these terrorists that society loves so much doesn't have to work for anything. They get everything for free. Right? There's like, what's the point of the money fiction? I mean, motherfuckers that are like, they get more money, right? If you're a pretty boy or one of these fucking cunts, you automatically get more money than me. Even if you got paid the same on paper, you're not even expected to do the minimum. I mean, the ugly fucks aren't even I'm expected to do, me doing 4 times what's expected gets me no credit. In fact, for me, that is what's expected. I'm held to a higher standard than even what the job description is, but then these motherfuckers show up, they do a quarter of the minimum, and a lot of times they get paid more than me. Right? It's like, so what's the point of the money fiction, the state fiction, all that? Humans were going to do this selectivity, favoritism shit anyway. The statism shit, money shit's been a few thousand years. They act like it has to be there. But it's like it hasn't even been there for 10% of the existence of the human species. Much less even just bipedal primates, much less primates in general. But it has to be there. And that's the thing. They were going to do that shit no matter what. Well, you don't think they weren't doing that shit for the last 250,000 years? It's just, all these fictional paradigms they come up with is just a way to diffuse responsibility, to distance themselves from consequences for their actions, and to protect them from consequences of their actions. So this guy, that he actually seems like a good guy, yeah, they're making him the wage slave. The corporate terrorists, that get mad at him when he says he should get paid more than he is because he's worth that much. They get mad about it, like you're supposed to just do a bunch of extra shit for free. And you're already doing it for free anyway, because money has no innate value. Like I said, as I've said, you can't counterfeit money because money is counterfeit value. So you're doing a jig for the slave owner, and you're not even really getting anything in return. So it's actually worse than slavery. I mean, it's all slavery, but like the overt slavery motherfuckers are thinking about. I mean, money is overt slavery to me, and it's nothing hiding to me. Maybe that shit's invisible to you humans. But I don't believe that either. It's just too convenient that these social fictions all coalesce to guarantee the persecution of the innocent, right? So if Elliot Rodger goes to the police for, some of these child fucking humans, breaking his leg, well, it happened a couple months ago or whatever, and so the cops, according to him, that's what they said. The cops were like, well, what took you so long to tell us about it? Dude, they would never say that to a bitch. A bitch could accuse you of rape that supposedly happened fucking 100 years ago, right? It absolutely could be that absurd. Like, you couldn't, neither of you were even alive. It doesn't matter. They just make up whatever. Automatically taken as true, right? There ain't no, what took you so long to bring it up when there's these cunts, accusing dudes of rape just to try to get them murdered just because they don't like them. And humans are always desperate for a lynch mob opportunity. They can't ever get together to protect the innocent, but they can sure as hell get together to persecute and murder them, can't they? What took you so long when it's a couple months? They don't ever say that to these cunts. Oh, you got raped, 20 years ago. What took you so long? And, if you were a dude, you could have got raped, 10 minutes ago. Off. That's in the past. Can't do nothing about it now, right? Like I said, these humans, you're not victims, all right? They're a bunch of fucking truly just, like, there's not words for them. And so the human species getting flayed and disemboweled and chopped to fucking pieces is infinitely better than they deserve to fucking experience. All the fucking sickening fucking depravity and just their, like, true villainy. If you have a soul, you can't stand being alive in this world. Even if your life, directly was, fine. I felt the way I do now my whole life. Because if you have a soul seeing the shit, you're not going to understand why these things are letting it be like this. It's because they're a bunch of demonic fucking apes. They're a bunch of vicious little shit rat fucking primates running wild. And nothing was done about them when that was even possible. When doing something could have worked.